Hey Drew, you killed this shit.
Welcome back. Another episode in the Four Corners of Wrestling. I'm your host, Marshall, Mr. Soul Simmons. And I'm back with my guys. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, man?
All right,
What's up,
Colin.
Marshall?
What's up, Jose? Jay Will.
Yo, what up?
My man. And we got some special guests today, fellas. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Muscle Man Rell, you know, he kind of pulled a pectoral muscle in the gym clanging and banging. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to wish him well in his recovery. You know what I'm saying? He'll be back in a little bit. But until then, we got some special guys out there. I love these guys. From out the Silver Corner, the guys from Tone and Cash Gaming Pad Podcast, Tone and Cash. What's up, fellas?
Nothing. What's up?
Yo.
Got the corner.
All right. Look, don't be trying to put nobody through no tables or nothing like that, man.
My fault.
No promises.
It was,
No
you know,
promises.
when we hear it got, you know, we got excited. We was like, what? We finally got entered in?
It was like, get the table. All right. So, man, y'all know we're in the DMV area, right? And it's been a crazy week up this, Joe. What y'all fellas think about this craziness that happened at the Capitol? Did y'all see that crazy shit? Did y'all see them storm the Capitol like the British did back in the day? I ain't never seen no shit like that before, man. Come on, man. Out the blue corner, Jose Quavo. Did you see that shit?
I saw it, bro. It felt like I was watching what's it called? That movie with Cheech. And you see all the Mexicans running down the hill. Like it felt like that all over again. I was like, what the heck is going on, man? But these are people in wheelchairs, old people that I haven't seen since everything was open again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. I one tweet, right? 2 tweets. We can't pull up anymore.
Crazy, man. Hey, when I saw them climbing the wall, that took me back to World War Z with Brad Pitt. I was like, what the hell? Jay Will out the red corner, Greenville, Flair Country, woo, North Carolina. What did you think of that craziness out there, man?
Bro, it was wild. I couldn't believe it. But look, I guess they got everything that they wanted to get off their chest, but I'm glad that thing done and over with, at least for now.
Right. I feel you. Mr. PipeBomb out the black corner, Colin from DC. What you think?
I mean, you know, privileged people do privileged things. And I just know a certain group of people, other people would have tried that. We wouldn't have gotten anywhere near the Capitol to even get close to do something like that. But hey, you know, maybe one of these days we can get some of that privilege, but I doubt it.
Man, that is crazy. And to our special guest, you know what I'm saying, Tony Cash in the Silver Corner. What did y'all think about that mess, man?
I agree. Privilege. Privilege. Like, it's self-explanatory, man. Like, literally.
And, you know, I'm from Detroit, but, you know, I watch the news and I'm on Twitter and I see everything. So it was just a mess, honestly. It really was. It was crazy. But you know what? At least now they're starting to realize that, you know, your skin color can't save you now. You know, they see of all people, a woman who was a military, you know, past military for 14 years, you know, she got shot in the neck. But, you know, she thinking that she could get in there and, you know, do what she want to do because she was in the military and because, you know, I'm just going to say because she was white and she was sadly mistaken. So, you know, they come into some realization, but at the same time, they still thinking that they could just walk around and do whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm. It ain't like that, man. That's crazy, man. Like, as a former serviceman myself, I was shocked and disappointed in this country, and it's just terrible, man. It is just terrible. But we're going to move on. But we had some crazy, crazy wrestling this week. You know what I'm saying? Going to start off with Raw. Did y'all catch Raw this week?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it was Legends Night. Legends Night. Start off with the Hulkster. I'm kind of indifferent about the Hulkster now, man. I know I just pissed somebody off with that comment.
Watch it.
But it's all good. Colin, you okay?
Yeah, just just fall back, just relax a little bit, stay calm.
Hey man, you know how it goes, baby. You know how it goes. But nothing but love for the Hulkster. He started off. It was a good old promo. We're gonna go through the card right quick, and then we're gonna go around the square circle and talk about it. So the first match was Miz and Morrison versus the New Day, I believe. And of course, they cut a good promo in the beginning, which we'll talk about. Then you had AJ with Omos versus Elias with Jackson. I call him his new roadie. Had Charlotte and Asuka, versus Peyton Royce and Lacey Evans. I call Lacey Evans legs. Yeah. Had Matt Riddle versus Bobby Lashley. Shayna Baszler versus Dana Brooke. Randy Orton, the Viper, versus the Enigma Jeff Hardy. Then you had the Hurt Biz going up against the Lucha House Party. And then everybody's favorite wrestler, Drew McIntyre, going against Keith Lee. And then we had a special ending, which to me was a what the fuck moment. Goldberg came out. What the fuck? So going around the square circle, we'll start with Jay Wood in the red corner. What'd you think about the show?
So I was a huge fan of them bringing out some of the legends. It was pretty cool to see. I love some of the work Randy Orton was doing backstage with Big Show, and it speaks on how good of a character Randy Orton is and how much I enjoyed him. But Goldberg at the end,
what the fuck, right?
The WCW, bro, the WCW days are over for you, bro. Like, I love them, but dude, that nostalgia only gets you but so far. I like some future setups that they got going on, but Raw brand is just not it for me anymore, man. It's just not it.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was, like I said, Goldberg at the end, and you had some crazy spots in that joint. You know what I mean? Flair tripping up Charlotte, like, huh? Are you serious? Kyle from DC, what you think?
I mean, it was just Raw was just a hit and not even really a hit. It just most of it was terrible. Just the legends, aside from Hulk Hogan, of course, the legends blew me. It was like a waste of time. I know, it was just random as shit. Tatanka was standing there at one point with Sergeant Slaughter and Mickey James, and they were just talking.
Hey, don't you talk about Mickey?
Right. Well, she's great, but I don't care about Sergeant Slaughter's sorry ass.
Okay, we agree with that.
Right. It was just all random. Yeah, I know. Flair. I saw the little storytelling that they were trying to tell. Lacey Evans, who played her role, pretty well, flirting with Rick. Obviously Flair did the little, thing where he caught Charlotte. Cost Charlotte the match. That was kind of interesting. But when the day is done, this whole thing was just set up for Goldberg. And I know if the audience, remembers, I don't have a lot of love for Goldberg. I don't know what Vince's fixation is with Goldberg right now. I mean, you should have had that fixation back in 2002. It's 2021. Time to let that shit go. He does not have good matches. So he didn't have a good match with Braun. He didn't have a good match with The Fiend last year. He damn sure didn't have a good match with The Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. So what are you doing? And now you're using basically, Drew McIntyre fought Keith Lee, and you kind of sabotaged Keith Lee. You were doing nothing with him, but now you kind of hot-shotted him into this world title match, only for him to lose, only to give more shine because all the legends were kind of basically kissing Drew's ass. He's already the top guy, but you had to use those legends to basically shine him up. So you sacrificed Keith Lee to go against Goldberg. Why? And sorry, basically because of the whole time issue. Goldberg, the Raw went off the air with Goldberg, who's 54 years old, shoving Drew McIntyre. You're a world champion on his ass. That's how the show ended. So,
but that's because they didn't have enough money. They should have bought more TV time. I blame that on we can't blame everything on Vince. I'm blaming it on Vince.
But sure, it's true, but at the same time, that may be true, but for the casual person who was tuning in, all you saw, you don't know about the money. All you saw was when the lights were going off, when it was, it was moving on, the champion was on his ass and Goldberg shoved something. That's a bad look.
That is a bad look. That is a bad look. I was shocked too. I was like, really? That's it? That's that bullshit. Jose Quavo, blue corner. What you think?
And man. Oh boy. I mean, Raw was just not it for me this week. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And this being from a Legends show, this is Legends night.
Alicia
And you got
Fox
these,
on there.
you don't even got these legends doing good stuff, not even using their promos, not even, bro, they're like voiceless wrestlers, bro. You just have them there as statues. And then on the main match, when you got all the legends lined up, you got them sitting down like they're at an assembly. Like, what?
Did you see the look on Mark Henry's face? He's like, why am I out here?
That's another thing. I feel like the way that they could have gone storyline wise is just astronomical and exponential in ways they could have gone, right? But the way that they chose was like an old rerun of TNA, like Hogan on the phone, Mystery Hogan talking on the phone, right? So I'm thinking, well, maybe Hogan's gonna come down to the ring and do a promo. That'd be awesome, right? No. What? You don't even got Hogan doing what he's good at? Come on, man. And then it's just like I said, it's like a rerun of TNA when Hogan talked to Dixie, same crap. So I just feel like they're revamping old stuff because they have what Impact wrestlers on the WWE roster, and it's like it just looks weird, man. And then seeing at the end, and I like Drew Galloway. Because Drew Galloway, Impact, he actually was a lot more decent than now. And now seeing him getting pushed down to the floor by Goldberg, which and this is scary to say this, but I agree with the little bottle rocket.
Hold up. You say Galloway?
Yeah, Galloway. Yeah, Drew Galloway, bro. I'm telling you. That's what I call him, because that's the only time I like him. I don't like him as McIntyre. He just looks, that's just my opinion. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
But another thing, who are they putting as legends on the show? You got Alicia Fox as a legend on the show?
Crazy ass.
Come on,
she's been there
bro.
for a while now. Like, she's been there for
you get on a TV show, and apparently now they wanna make you a legend. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I didn't like how any of Raw was done, bro. The way they did Flair wrong too. Come on, you did the Nature Boy wrong, man. And then on top of that, you have great talent that you could be moving into Raw, like Rhea Ripley, and making her and running with her and giving her the push she needs. So that way, when Charlotte does come back, who does she face? She faces Rhea Ripley. You know what I mean? And that I would rather like to see. I would like to see that more than, basically Charlotte having a tantrum ringside with her dad after losing a match.
Lacey build up? You ain't like the Lacey build up?
That was garbage, man. That was garbage. I'm sorry. Stepford needs to go somewhere, bro. I'm sorry. It's bad. At least with Orton, you kind of brought it back, but even that could have been a better home run. That could have been a better promo too. You just had Nature Boy taking his hits. And I'm like, bro, I don't know. I just personally, Raw could have been a lot more with all the talent that they had on that show. Are you kidding me? All that talent on that show. You had big shows, but I don't know, man. I personally, I didn't like Raw this week. I still watched it because it's legends and I like them. These are my legends. Right. These are the people that you've seen do amazing things and build great storylines. They've done great promos. They put in the work. Right. But I'll give it back to you, Ref. I don't know.
Okay. We're gonna go around and gotta talk to our special guest right quick. You know what I'm saying? Tony Cash. What did y'all think? And then we want Colin also.
Well, it was all right. I mean, my favorite match had to probably be Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, just because I'm a huge Hardy Boys fan, always been since I was a kid. They the TLC matches with the Dudley Boys and Edge and Christian back in the early 2000s was always something else to watch. And then
that was the favorite one.
when they finally made TLC, you know, mainstream, you know, appearing on Raw and SmackDown and stuff, that's when I really started to, like, you know, get more and more into wrestling and started following storylines and stuff. But you know, you know, Randy Orton's living up to his name as you know, legend killer, of course, because you know nobody really, you know, tried to, you know, do anything with all this, you know, shit that he was saying and stuff, you know. But other than that, you know, they put on a pretty clean match. You know, I was kind of getting a little irritated when I couldn't really see, you know, Jeff hit that swanton bomb like he wanted to. You know, Randy kept rolling out the way or rolling out the ring, running and shit. But, you know, other than that, you know, they put on the show. So, you know, that was probably my favorite part of the whole show.
Okay.
TLC, man, Jeff Hardy, you know, the Dudley Boys, and you know, I mean, the Edge, or you know, it was just like
Edge and Christian,
what is like that was so like spontaneous, man. It was just, you know, Jeff Hardy without even the refs being there in a sense, you know, jumping off that ladder and hitting freaking Bubba Rick, like just boom, like could you imagine? Just like that was so like what? Or even with like Edge spearing Jeff Hardy, like, you know what I mean, when he was holding the belt and just boom came down, like that was just like a big like wow moment.
Oh, see, Cash, he had a flashback moment. So that was you having a flashback moment. I know that's right. Like I got a little nostalgia too when I seen those two up in there, Randy and Jeff. That took me back. And then you know we got the new breed coming up in there. You know the new blood. You know Matt Riddle with Lashley. You know Lashley's been there for a while, but I'm liking this new Matt Riddle character. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks like you just sit back, hit a J before you go out there. You know, and come on, bro. Let's go do your thing, you know. One spot of the night that I did like, and I want you know you guys jump in, was the Keith Lee Drew match. When Keith Lee fucking hit the shit out of Drew and knocked him over the barricade, like you could tell that wasn't Drew jumping. Nah, that was Keith Lee straight power just hitting that guy way up over that barricade. That was like my favorite part of the night. Colin, what was your favorite part?
Yeah, I mean, that was my favorite part of the match. It's crazy, you know, Keith Lee with his power and his speed, you know, anytime he hits that pounce, you're going to go in the fifth row. So it's definitely always a moment. It's definitely something that always opens your eyes. Again, it's just a real tough situation. You know, I felt like they really sacrificed him. It's unfortunate because you got the Royal Rumble coming up later on this month. And I don't think you needed him in that position. I don't know what they're trying to get ready for him and with him and Sheamus, but it's kind of like I just felt like, especially with the legends there and all this extra stuff, you didn't need to put Keith Lee in that position. And I think WWE, as usual, likes to paint themselves into a corner. Speaking of painting themselves into a corner, you know, last week they went off the air with Randy trying to, you know, he was gonna quote unquote set Alexa on fire. It was a cliffhanger. So basically, what do? The next week, instead of okay, let's resolve that cliffhanger, you just go to here's Hulk Hogan. So again, WWE or Raw specifically, they, you know what I'm saying, they just the way they position things, it leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay, Jay Will.
Honestly, best moments. I can't even say I had a best match of the night. Honestly, all of it was pretty yawn for me. But I did enjoy having the legends in certain spots. It was good to see Randy Orton doing his thing, his normal legend killing thing. But I think the Bobby Lashley match was pretty solid for me. I enjoyed a lot of Bobby Lashley's work. It's a love-hate thing because there's certain people in Raw that I enjoy, but they never give me what I want as far as matches are concerned, and especially stories are concerned. So best match of the night for me might have been the Bobby Lashley match, but otherwise my favorite moments were things that were not happening inside the ring, especially the Goldberg, that Trash McGee.
Yeah, that was horrible. That was horrible. I'm like, why? Why? And
Definitely.
another match that stood out to me too was that AJ Elias. Because AJ is a
Yeah.
great worker, and he made Elias. I haven't seen Elias really, I'll say, put a whooping on somebody like that in a long time. And AJ really worked that. You know, usually Elias getting beat down is more Elias getting beat down. But this was like the first time I seen Elias really put in that work and AJ working with him to make him look really good.
Again, good characters, good wrestlers, but then like we don't get like what we don't get the best product out of people like that under Raw, and I don't know why. I just have not been able to understand why yet.
Hey, it's going to remain a mystery. And speaking of good products and why they can't put out good products, we're going to move on to AEW. And that was a show. I caught some of it. And we're going to go down the card on this one as well, get everybody's thoughts. All right. So you had the Young Bucks and SCU versus the Hybrid and the Acclaim. Moxley came back out, spoke to everybody. You had Warlow versus Jake Hager. You had Cody versus Matt Sydal, which you had Snoop Dogg out there. We're going to get to that in a minute. This next match kind of weird to me. Abandoned. I don't know who this girl is, but that is a character I got to watch because that is some freaky shit right there. Hikaru Shida is who she faced. And then you had Kenny Omega, and I hope I get his name correct, versus Ray Phoenix. And that was a fucking match right there. My producer has been telling me about Kenny Omega for a long time. And let me tell you, when I saw that match, I saw what the hell he was talking about. That guy is a hell of a performer. They put on a hell of a match. Some of them moves, I'm like, oh, damn, is he hurt for real? Like, it had me on the edge of my seat to the end. And it was great. It was crazy. So I want to go around the square circle and I want to get everybody's thoughts. And oh man, what you think? Mr. Colin, Mr. PipeBomb, Black Corner. Let me get your thoughts.
So, that's definitely the Omega Phoenix match was definitely a great match. It's definitely a match of the year and already an early match of the year candidate. It was amazing. The thing is, Ray Phoenix, I think he could be a star. Like that guy does look special. But at the same time, not to sound like I'm lumping people in altogether, I feel like I've seen Kalisto do a lot of the same things when he was on the indie circuit. I feel like when he's gotten to the WWE for one reason or another, the way they do matches and stuff like that is not, they don't let Kalisto like really pop off like how he's supposed to. So I see a lot of, I don't know if Ray Phoenix could be like the next big thing, quote unquote, or he's just, he has more freedom in AEW. Two things about Kenny Omega. His entrance was one of the funniest entrances I've heard in a long time. Just the way it was just so over the top. It was so ridiculous. Kenny Omega looks like a star. The thing that I hate, and Tone and Cash can speak to this because it's a little video game nerd lingo. Omega spams V-triggers, and I hate that shit. The first 3 V-triggers are cool. The next 40 to 50 are not. I hate, he just V-trigger. It's just ridiculous. It's over the top. Okay, so here we go. Here, I'm going to start shitting on things. So AEW had a 4-on-4 tag match, and it had the Young Bucks in it. And they all look like 8 dudes that you would randomly walk by in Walmart. They don't look like stars. They don't pop off. They don't pop off the screen. Like the 5 of us can throw on some basketball shorts and join in on that match, and no one would know the difference. They just look. Everybody just looks normal. No one pops off the screen. Like if you go back to Raw, Charlotte looks like a star. Drew McIntyre looks like a star. These dudes just look like a bunch of nobodies off the street. So I have a problem with that. Dean Ambrose, he had a good promo.
Wow, are you kidding me? Are you
what?
kidding me? Bottle Rocket over here, Firecracker, talking trash about the real workers in this biz? Are you kidding me, bro? You call him McIntyre. The guy's Galloway. Okay, he's forever gonna be Galloway. Okay. Second of all, you called him Ambrose, bro. That is Jon Moxley. He debuted in TNA as Jon Moxley. So my whole thing is, wow, are you serious? The guys are nobodies. You got, first of all, you got Christopher Daniels, you got Kazarian. I'm just saying, you got all these guys that have made big names and impact. Come on, man.
You know, Dean Ambrose. Look, I know him as Dean Ambrose. His mama call him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay. He's Dean Ambrose to me. So,
well, in all fairness, Colin, we are with AEW, so we got to call him by his AEW name. We don't want Vince coming at us for names and rights. So you know, hey, that's just for the sake of argument. When he's with AEW, we're just gonna call him Mox.
All right, fine. Mox. Mox had a good promo. You know, and then there's just some lame shit. Sting Snow, I think is stupid as shit. They're in Jacksonville, Florida. Darby Allin looks like a fucking idiot.
What? Are you kidding me? You hear this little firecracker?
Hold on. When Sting and Darby Allin stare at each other, they look like a father and son cosplaying as vampires. What the fuck? I don't care. Like, what is that? So, you know, Darby Allin, he doesn't impress me.
Have you even seen any of his matches?
I mean,
have you seen any of his matches, bro?
I mean, no.
You need to see some of his matches because you're talking trash about Darby Allin like you've seen a match.
You know, look, from what
look, hey, look. I don't know about you, but I don't talk about shit unless I've seen it. I'm not one of those son of bitch that just kind of puts out their 2 cents just to put out 2 cents and lay out snow just to lay out snow or put out facts just to put out facts until something sticks. I'm just saying, Shelton Benjamin isn't from the 90s. And you're talking trash about Darby Allin? Are you kidding me? And what? I'm gonna just mute myself.
You know, all right. I'll just take a step back from this one.
Ooh, we got to tap out. Jay Will. We got to tap out, Jay Will. What you got, baby? What you think about AEW?
Colin, fight back.
Match is over. We're on you. You know what I'm
okay. All right. The Ray Phoenix match in Kenny Omega. I agree with Jose with he is spamming that finisher. It's too much. It's way too much. I at least counted it at least 5 times in that match. It was solid move. It's a solid move. It has a great hit to it. It looks devastating, but the novelty wears off after the second time, though. You know, like you can't hit him with the same move and expect a different result every time. Ray Phoenix, to me, champion material, future champion material. I really enjoy all of his work. The Hikaru Shida match, solid match. I thoroughly enjoyed it, but I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room. The Cody Rhodes match, bro. Cody Rhodes, solid wrestler, amazing wrestler. His match was amazing. But are we going to ignore the stick figure with dreads getting up on that top rope and doing the worst frog splash I've ever seen in history of wrestling? I mean, he was a deer in headlights. That motherfucker was scared. He was trembling. He's like, yo, if I fall, this is it. I'm not going to be able to recover from this. And it looked like he was literally going to land on his feet. He had to fall forward as much as he could. Yo, I love Snoop, but yo, bro, this ain't it, Chief.
What? Like, I love Snoop too. You know what I mean? And I'm like, look, if his cousin is gonna say something, damn it, I'm gonna say something. Snoop, don't you ever try no shit like that. Whoever told you it was okay to do that shit, you need to smack their ass. You know what I'm saying? Don't you ever try those shit. If you was in WWE, Vince would have chewed your ass, or whoever put you up to that bullshit. Oh my god!
Right.
I'm gonna go to Tony Cash on that one. Tony Cash. I know what y'all know about AEW, man. That bullshit that Snoop did. I know y'all seen that shit.
Yeah, when he leaped into somewhat of a midair, he had to tell him, like, yo, scoot him back. Hey, scoot him back. Bring him here. Bring him down here. Like,
oh,
they was scooting him as far as he could.
They say don't try this at home for a reason.
Okay. Like, it took him like 5 minutes to set it up.
You know what I mean? Like, he had to get up, and he was like, man, I ain't never been up this before.
Man's feet
Vince
big
ain't
as
never
hell.
let
He
me
was
do
getting
this.
caught up in
Did you
them
see
ropes
that?
trying to climb up.
You see that? Hey, them big ass chucks he had on, man. Like, I love
He was
Size
trying to look
22
cool.
chucks.
Oh, hey, look, stick to
Yeah.
rapping.
Yeah, but you know, AEW, you know, they it's a lot of talent over there. You know, they might not be, you know, on that same scale as, you know, WWE just yet, but they're slowly making their way. You know,
Yeah.
everybody know who Chris Jericho is. I mean, he's just a legend in wrestling altogether. Of course, you know, you got the new groups coming up, you know, like the Young Bucks, Nick and Matt Jackson. So, you know, of course, you know, you got another legend over there. I know some people don't consider him a legend because they feel that he can't carry himself without Jeff Hardy, but Matt Hardy is over there.
The broken one.
And broken Matt Hardy too, but that was a good one, bro. Like,
broken and big.
Right. Yeah, broken and big.
but you know, shout out to Matt Hardy though. He a Hardy boy. I fucks with him. But you know, all these, you know, all I can say is about AEW really is that, you know, I'll be a lot more immersed into it, especially the fact that they do have their own video game coming out soon.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to get a lot more in depth with that, and I hope that they come up with a better storyline than how WWE does it, because it's kind of dry with how WWE does their storylines in the video game. Yes. I hope that they bring something fresh and new, kind of like how they doing in actuality in real life.
Yeah, I hope so too. And what's that dude's name too that was on there? Jack Hager, Jack Swagger.
Jack Hager,
You know, all known from Jack Swagger, and he only changed the swagger part.
Once again, Vince in that name. Once you leave, Vince is like, give me my name, give me my stuff. So he went by his real name. Yep, UFC fighter as well.
And if the image were kind of true, it looks like it's kind of like WWE Battlegrounds in a sense. That's how the format looks of the characters.
Oh,
on the game.
I hope it's not that.
Look, we're gonna say that for you guys, though, because I don't want to burn up all the game talk over here. I want to say something when I come to y'all house and kick my feet up. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm gonna go back to my man Colin, Mr. PipeBomb.
You know, Tone and Cash, please stick to, like, you know, Little Mario Brothers or whatever, because when it comes to talking wrestling, you don't know what you're talking about. AEW doesn't have a lot of people that look like stars. You know, we review the Royal Rumble, 1992 Royal Rumble later on this week. Damn near everyone on that pay-per-view, aside from like 10 guys, is probably bigger stars than the dudes in AEW. Earthquake and Typhoon are bigger stars than 80% of the roster on AEW. So I don't know what's going on, but they need to get that shit together, because a lot of those dudes look like they could be washing my car. So I don't know.
Are you freaking kidding me? See, this is what I'm talking about. You light a fuse on a little bottle rocket, and he thinks just because he went off, he made something big. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're saying that Kenny Omega isn't the shit right now? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me, bro? You're telling me Christopher Daniels hasn't put in work? You're telling me, first of all, you're telling me that the Bullet Club hasn't done things that are immeasurable in ratings. Are you kidding me, bro? I don't even know, man. I just want to get out of this ring at this point.
Bottle Rocket. Let me step in for a second, Bottle Rocket. Let me tell you, if you did not watch the Hagler Wardlow match, you are missing out. That was a solid match. Like, to me, that might have been the best match of the entire night, second to Rey Fenix match. Like, the only problem I have with that match is the F10 Wardlow, his finishing move. It does not look damaging. But that match, those two in particular, those two look like stars. Those two wrestlers put on a great match. And I cannot sit here and let you insult what work they did on that match of that night. Bottle Rocket, you pipe down a little bit. Pipe down a little bit, because you ain't the pipe bomb right now. You're the Bottle Rocket right now, bro.
You know, to simple people, simple things seem special. Okay, so by that I mean the Wardlow Jack Swagger match impressed you. Sorry, Mr. Mayhem Wardlow, that's lame as fuck, versus Jack Swagger. That was an impressive match to you? Really?
First of all, Sparkler, his name is Jack Hager, okay? Second of all, if you didn't like that match, I don't know if you've just gotten so used to always eating whatever they feed you at the WWE table. But in this new era, you got to know what's really out there, bro.
You missing it, bro. You definitely miss it. Keep smoking on that vent pipe, because that's exactly what's going on over there.
Hey, Tony Cash, I want to get on this Royal Rumble. This is Royal Rumble season. If y'all want to get on this ass whooping, feel free. But we're gonna move on a little bit. But anybody else last thoughts on AEW?
I mean, aside from the like that was a real world championship match. That is, you know, you're fighting for quote unquote the top title in the company, or, you know, the business, you know, pertaining on your viewpoint. That's how it's supposed to go down. So, you know, that versus the Drew Keith match. What you could tell, there was a different level of skill there. Aside from the 500 V triggers.
All right. AEW, pick it up. But you're good also. I enjoyed a couple of matches. Jake Hager, Warlow, that was to me a good match. Like I said, I just can't get Abandoned out my head. That's scary. Oh my goodness. I've never seen a wrestler like her before. And moving on. SmackDown. Tribal Chief. I believe somebody out there said they're getting tired of the Tribal Chief. What did y'all think about it? All right. The show started off with Roman Reigns. Then we had a weird match with Big E and Apollo Crews. I didn't get that one. Both shoulders was down, and then you had to do the match over, and then Big E's crazy ass haircut and Apollo Crews is just, come on, y'all guys got to pick it up. Then we had Rude and Ziggler versus the Street Profits. I could just tell something's going on with Montez Ford. Great guy, great athlete. But did get new champs in Rude and Ziggler. And then we had a gauntlet match. This gauntlet match was going to determine who would be the number one contender to face the Tribal Chief at the next pay-per-view. And we're just going to talk to everybody, because I got to get y'all viewpoint on this. I got mixed feelings about it. All right. So who do I want to go to first? Who wants to crack at it first? Like I said, it's Royal Rumble season. All right. Who wants to crack at it first? Go ahead. Somebody jump in. Talk to me. What did you think about SmackDown?
Man, I'm jumping in the ring first. Look, so SmackDown this week, it started off pretty good. I thought Roman Reigns, the segment in the beginning with Roman Reigns was pretty good. I still expect better. But that Big E and Apollo Crews match, I have bittersweet feelings about it. The first half was stupid. You can tell that both fumbled in that match. There were spots where me as a person, if I was not a huge avid wrestling fan, there's spots where I was just like, this doesn't make sense. Like, size-wise, it doesn't make sense to see Apollo Crews pick up Big E the way he did, especially for like the superplex at the end. Like, bro, we see that you're helping him up there. It wasn't a good spot for me. But the two of them together, like the second half of the match, was highly enjoyable. I thought the finish could have been better. It wasn't bad by any means. It was honestly an okay match. But that first half ruined it for them. And that gauntlet match, snore. I 100% fell asleep during that match. It was not for me. No. SmackDown
No.
overall for me was it was okay at best. I've seen much better. I've seen much better from SmackDown.
Yeah, much better. To me, the favorite part of that gauntlet match was Nakamura Daniel Bryan.
Agreed.
That was
100% agreed.
That DB, like, shout out to DB. He's like one of the best, of course, trained by Shawn Michaels. Did his thing. Nakamura. I got to see that part of Nakamura that everybody was talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I thought that Nakamura was going to win. I was getting excited to see Nakamura versus Roman Reigns. And then they hit that bullshit with, oh my goodness. This guy coming in. Was it the GM winning the match because Roman wants to have a, oh my God. I was pissed at that one. Jose Quavo, what you think?
I mean, I've said it before and I've said it again. I'm not a huge fan of Roman Reigns. Just not. I'm sorry. The way that they try to shove him down our throats, I feel like you are really just overworking way too much to a point where now I don't even want to eat. And that's how I feel like you could have, and they do this all the time with Rumbles too. They always put in other people thinking that they're gonna create a pop that maybe Cena brought when he came back from the Rumble, and it's like, I don't get it. Why would you even bother putting Adam Pearce in the contendership? I mean, even storyline wise, it's weak. It's overplayed, and I personally, I would have, like you said, preferred to see Nakamura versus Reigns. And even with Nakamura not at his peak in performance, it still would be good enough to put Reigns over. I don't know. I just, the whole lineup for SmackDown, I just feel like they were trying to control chaos. They just have storylines that are going all over the whims. I don't know. It's just it was enough to watch. It was watchable, but at the same time, I didn't enjoy it.
Right. It's like, okay, y'all just going through the motions. You know, Colin, what you think?
So, I actually enjoyed this episode of SmackDown. This level of Roman Reigns, he can do no wrong. So the old Roman Reigns, that dude, that was trash. There was nothing interesting about him. This Roman Reigns, pretty much every single thing that he's doing is fascinating. His mannerisms, the way he talks, his little cadence. You could tell he kind of even in a weird way, he kind of might be like losing it a little bit. When he's wrestling, he's kind of talking to himself and muttering to himself. That dude is just, everything about him right now is interesting. This is how he should have been presented. But I guess you couldn't get to where you are right now with Reigns if you didn't do all that other bullshit in the past. So it's kind of like, okay, I see, I guess I commend Vince on that way, I guess, kind of, sort of. So Reigns is a fucking jerk. And he said a line that basically got me out of my chair. Reigns said to Adam Pearce, "This is my show. I employ you." And I'm like, oh shit. He said it was like, "This is my show. I employ you. Like, you're here because of me. If I didn't want you here, you wouldn't be fucking around here." I thought that was just how he said it. The tone was just sinister and it was disgusting. Just the way he said it. Still uneasy with the whole how he got here, of course. There's plenty of times when it looks like Heyman has to restrain Roman from from crossing the line. So that is weird because it's like, it's not even a thing where you could say, okay, well, Paul, Heyman, he brainwashed Reigns. It's basically now it's like Paul is the one that's trying to hold Roman back from doing something psychotic. That's kind of crazy to me. The Biggie Apollo match, the first half was garbage. Here's my problem with what they're doing. Sometimes, see, WWE does shit too much. Biggie, you give him this man the confetti. He's this, oh my gosh, here we go. It's his moment. It's his arrival. Okay, his first singles match the next week ended in a disqualification. Next one, right afterwards, the next singles match ended in a draw. Like, just let the man win. What is all this shit that's going on? You know what I'm saying? It's just like they're doing too much for him. If he's this next big thing, if he's supposed to be special, let him be fucking special. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And then obviously, last but not least, Shinsuke Nakamura is my guy. He's been my favorite person since probably favorite wrestler since what 2015, 2016. That dude is special. The song, his movements, he just has an aura, and he hadn't been treated right, I think, for a long time. There's somebody who shall remain nameless. They would say that WWE lost interest in Nakamura ever since he broke Cena's neck. Seth Rollins kneed John Cena's face off. Seth Rollins ended Sting's career. Seth Rollins gave a buckle bomb to Finn Balor and dislocated his shoulder. So I don't want to hear a damn thing about what Shinsuke Nakamura did. He was always special. The problem with Nakamura was he had to try. And if you don't give him something interesting, he stops trying. But if you give him something interesting, he's one of the most special things in wrestling today. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. Nakamura, this whole thing with Adam Pearce again kind of puts them into a box. Puts them into a box because I don't want to see Adam Pearce versus Roman Reigns. So it's interesting in terms of a storyline thing, but we already know what's going to happen, and it's just pointless.
Okay. Jose?
Well, you see the firecracker gets lucky every now and then. Something lands every now and then. I'm just saying. But I agree with him. They're backing themselves into a corner, and they have a bad habit of taking too long to build up a story or not even building a story and just shoving down a superstar down our throat. I know for a fact the match with Cruz, telling you it was a good match to watch. If you watched it, it was good after the botched finish. After they did that and restarted the match, you could tell that they had to make it work. Like they, in that moment, improvised and were like, all right, let's make it work because this looked bad. And after they did their own, kind of had their free reign at that point, you saw a better match. And you were like, oh, okay, well, now I kind of actually want to watch it. And I think that it's that originality and maybe that excitement that the WWE needs to actually look at. Look at that. Take notice to that because that's what the fans really want to see. I don't know.
Okay.
I got to jump in and agree with Jose on that one, honestly. That you can kind of see how, when you allow them the moment to improvise, it kind of brings back some of the old school ways of wrestling where they talked themselves through the match instead of having a timeline given to them. It shows how much of a better match, a higher quality match that you can get from them when you see them. They give them the platform to improvise. It's as long as you. I think again at the end of the day, as long as you get the finish and the characters know how they need to give the fans that roller coaster of emotions during a match. That's how a match should go. That's how we should. That's types of matches that we should see.
Yeah, look at how Big E looked at the end, man. I was like, wow. See, now he looks like a champion. Now I see him as a champion instead of just somebody who's gyrating in the ring. There are those moments where you're like, you guys hit gold right here, and then you went back to normal.
See, I disagree.
Also, I must.
Real quick, I disagree. Even that whole thing with Big E, it's like you beat him. That's it. It's Apollo Crews. Yeah, he's all right. But you're supposed to be the next big thing. This is 2021 is supposed to be your year. It's the road to you being world champion. You having a hard time beating Apollo Crews? You go come on now, y'all. No.
See, technically, he didn't have a hard time. He won both times. Technically, we'll get technical out here, Firecracker.
I just need somebody to do what Apollo Crews did and smack Big E one more time and smack that haircut off his head because that shit ain't working for me, bro.
At all. And with that, we're going to end the SmackDown segment. So we're going to move on to Impact. Anybody catch Impact? I really didn't catch. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Called a snippet. I know that Tony Khan had a commercial in there. He's coming out to be a heel on Impact. And this looks like the Impact and AEW are trying to form a little partnership there, trying to do something there. Tony Schiavone was just sitting there collecting his paycheck, and I'm hearing some things in the winds that they got something special going over there. So did Anybody catch Impact?
I
From
caught,
cable?
I caught a couple of highlights.
Mhm.
You know, Moose always pops off the screen. I know they had a four-way match that was trying to highlight the X division, and this guy Blake Christensen. He looked like he could be something special. It is interesting what they're trying to do with a little AEW Impact crossover. And I am interested in to see, where they're really gonna go, because you can't make both companies, when the day is done, somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. So, what is the long-term goal with this? Are you gonna make Rich Swann look bad as your world champion? You damn sure aren't gonna make Kenny Omega, look bad. So it's very fascinating to see how they're gonna end up with this.
Okay. Anyone else? If not,
I'm interested. I'm interested in the possibility of like it's a far-fetched dream, but like to see another two organizations come together and work on bringing down the beast itself, like that would be something I'm interested in seeing, because we have a lot of very good talent, even though the Bottle Rocket disagrees. We have a lot of good talent in AEW that is in great competition with some of the wrestlers in the WWE currently. I would love to see two companies come together and take down the beast. Just honestly, that's just a good dream of mine.
Let's see that we could get some good competition. Last time that that happened, hey, the beast, as we call him, put out some good shit. All right. Now moving on.
Hold up a goddamn minute. Hold a goddamn minute. You're gonna breeze by Impact and not talk to the man who's been talking Impact this entire time. Come on, man. First of all, you got EY and Rhino facing off each, on opposite sides of the ring with Cousin and Joe Duringer. And I'm telling you, you got to understand, people don't rate these matches because why? These are names that people don't know, because they only eat what the network feeds them. Okay, if Vince doesn't say it's amazing, no one thinks it's amazing. But if you watch the matches, aka Lake Sparkler, pay attention. Watch the match. Watch the matches. You have fatal four ways going on. You have, first of all, you have an amazing promo, and that's the thing. When you see how the Good Brothers, okay, first of all, they have done amazing promos and they have developed as stars overall, okay? But now seeing them in a promo with Kenny Omega, this is like those people that look at trades and they see they're about to shoot up, and you know it because you saw the Golden Cross, and this is that Golden Cross. This is an A rating promo, and you're like, wow. And then on top of that, you have Matthew Palmer and Moose going at it, and guess another one. Hey, Sparkler, where was Ken Shamrock's first big title reign?
I don't know where.
Yeah, it's the Impact Zone, bro. Get around the six corners, bro. Get around the six corners and see who Ken Shamrock really was, because when he was on Impact, he was a champion. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if Vince doesn't say it's good, you don't think it's good, but it is. I'm telling you, Eddie Edwards, Sammy Callahan, whoo, that was actually a good match. That was a good match. And you got the barbed wires. Come on, what? That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's because it's a new school, because maybe they're still watching old tapes, tape tradings, old tapes out here. But it's time for you to upgrade, bro. Maybe start trading some MP3s or trading some files. I don't know. Watch a match, bro. Watch a match.
My man Jose. Okay. Yeah, you did name some stars. Yeah, Ken Shamrock was my man. Rhino, definitely. Like, to me, an underrated guy, but a great performer. Anybody else got anything for Impact?
I mean, if I wanted to see the dude at 7-Eleven go against the dude at Burger King fight, I just watch them. I don't have to watch Impact.
Well, you already do that on SmackDown watching I don't know, name a person. And then you also do that in Raw watching I don't know, name a person.
Okay. Okay, moving on. Jose with the win. My man. So it was put out earlier this week.
Oh, Marshall. Once again, it's Quavo.
My man. Okay. Well, moving on to NXT. We've been hearing that the transition has kind of halted to the main roster due to this COVID thing that we're all living with. Y'all know what I'm talking about with the COVID. No stars have been really going to the main roster from NXT. Damian Priest was supposed to get a push. That got halted, not due to COVID, but because it makes sense for him to be Kevin Owens' best friend, which I totally agree with. Got to make sense. But there have been current roster stars that have made the transition, i.e. Roman Reigns. Someone said earlier his name, Seth Rollins, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair, Bayley, Sasha Banks, Finn Balor. All these great talented wrestlers have transitioned from NXT to the main roster and have become stars. Have there been some that transitioned to the main roster have not? Yes. And we're going to talk about that. So I want to get you guys' thoughts. What do you think so far about the NXT transition from the main roster to, where they're going from NXT to the main roster? What do you think about the transition? Colin.
It's, here we go. So I have a list of names, right? I got a list of names. Here we go. The War Raiders, The Revival, EC3, Ricochet, Aleister Black, The Vaudevillains, AOP, American Alpha, Ember Moon, Bobby Roode, Kairi Sane. So that's just off the top of my head. They were, big time, aside from the Vaudevillains, they were like, big time. They thought they were going to be the future of the company. And what happened? Some people will say, the WWE writers, they mismanaged them. They didn't put them in the right place at the right time. There wasn't interesting storylines. However, you are a professional. You need to do your job to the best of your ability. And Ricochet, amazing in the ring. He's a spot monkey. He can't talk. Aleister Black, amazing in the ring. He can't talk. And if you are in the WWE, you need to be. What's the E stand for? Entertainment. You have to be entertaining inside of the ring, outside of the ring. You have to be bigger than what you are, right? You can't be some dude who's washing dishes at a restaurant at the Olive Garden. You have to be bigger and more powerful and more, not powerful, but bigger and more. You pop off the screen like a Bianca Belair.
Life.
Exactly, life. So when you have it, like Becky Lynch didn't pop off the screen until she turned into the man. Charlotte pops off the screen, and people complain about Charlotte getting all these title shots, all these pushes, because she looks like a star. To be honest with you, it's kind of a funny correlation, but Charlotte looks like a modern day Hulk Hogan, like tall, blonde, just she's just big, larger than life. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, all of those guys, they popped off the screen. Sasha Banks pops off the screen. She's good in the ring and outside of the ring. So my thing is, I don't blame Vince. I don't blame Vince. I blame them. They should have taken the ball and they should have ran with it, and they couldn't cut it.
I feel you. And I don't think theme music has anything to do with it, Keith Lee. Jay Will, what are your thoughts about the NXT transition to the main roster?
So we've seen a lot of good talent who definitely thrives now currently in NXT. In the main roster, Roman. And currently watching NXT, I see quite a few people who would actually do very well there as far as the talent is concerned and the characters are concerned. Honestly, I think about Karrion Kross. I thoroughly enjoyed his match on NXT this week, and I was just like, yo, he really needs to be on the main roster. I also think that Xia Li, it would be a great fit on the main roster. She'll be a great talent, because I'm not sold on Nia Jax anymore. Like, I would like to see someone better coming in. Nia Jax may need to honestly go back down to NXT. Just
Nia
me,
Jax,
but Nia Jax, yeah. But it's some great wrestlers that would definitely benefit from going over. And I think, unfortunately, they saying COVID may be a reason why the transition over isn't happening. But if they're all working out of the same place, I don't see I don't see it. That does not make sense to me. We got strong possibilities of great characters going over, especially Metalik. I'm making sure I say his name right. I love him. I love any high flyers. People who take risks like that. It was a combination of seeing Rey Mysterio and Jeff Hardy in one person for me, and I thoroughly enjoy watching his matches. This is the character that I needed to see from him.
Okay. Quavo.
Oh Lord, I swear. I wish Marshall, I wish these people would just watch some matches, bro. I wish they would watch some matches. Um let's start with Sparkler here. Hey Sparkler, do you know when Charlotte really like debuted and became a like champion? What platform was that on?
NXT.
Right. Okay. You got Bailey. Where's she from?
NXT.
Okay. You have Bianca Belair. Where's she from?
NXT.
Okay. So you know that these storylines have already been built on NXT, and you don't think that people already watch NXT because it's a byproduct of who? The network, right?
Right.
So knowing that, don't you think that these people already have some kind of spotlight, some kind of shine? Knowing that you already have the right wrestlers, one, Charlotte is a superstar, and honestly, if she was in Impact, she'd be the knockout champion. She would. Why? Because she's born and raised in this business. She knows how to do her moves. She knows how to walk with the flair that she needs to walk with. Okay. You said earlier that, oh, if they can't talk, they can't make it big. Are you freaking kidding me? If they had good managers, maybe they could do the same thing that Hogan did or Andre the Giant. And see, and then you do have the opposite of that side where you have Reigns with who? One of the best managers currently. And you don't you get what I'm saying? Like with oh my lord, I don't even know how to explain it to you, Sparkler, because it's like trying to teach math when you're busy trying to learn the alphabet. I don't know. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. It's just, how do you not see that? It's not just, you can't put all that weight on the wrestler, okay? Wrestlers get shit after shit after shit and they make it look pretty, okay? But if they can't make it look pretty, pair them up with somebody who can make it look pretty, or put somebody pretty with them. Rusev wasn't an amazing talker, but we got a whole Rusev day. I don't know.
So here we go. Transition from NXT to the main roster. I think it's a delayed one. I think sometimes they wait too long. And then sometimes I think it's in the best benefit of the wrestler to stay in NXT, such as the wrestlers as Adam Cole. Because when you have too many people in the main roster, you're going to get lost. And so when you transition from NXT to the main roster, what really worked in NXT, unless it really got you over with the fans, like the Demon with Finn Balor, going to be not really, I think, my opinion, work in the main roster. You know what I mean? Because as soon as you get to the main roster, they're going to repackage you. I mean, look what they did to Roman. When Roman was in NXT, he was wearing his shorts. When he got to the main roster, they repackaged him, and that's when he started getting the boos and stuff like that. And I'm not sure what happened in NXT. I just knew, uniform, his gear, and everything, they changed when he got to the main roster. Now, if he was getting booed like he was in the main roster, I don't think that he would have made it. So I think that transition is like kind of difficult. I think it takes a big mental toll on them as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to understand that they got to go with the transition that WWE actually agrees with. You know, I think that the hardest part for a lot of wrestlers when they're in this business is transitioning and changing their gimmick. And so like with Reigns, they had him quiet. Like now we see him doing promos. He's better. He's better than
But
just
look how
being
long he had to
quiet.
learn
And he
from
wasn't.
believe that, remember believe that. And to me, that was the best shit back then. That was what he needed to do at that point. You know what I'm saying? Like his
Yes.
transition was good at that point. Okay, cool. You're believable. You're the muscle. You dig what I'm saying?
And see, that
But
would have
then
been
when
the
he started
perfect time.
talking,
He's the muscle. Put a manager with him. Put a manager
and
with
who
him.
does he
Let him
have
be the
now?
muscle.
Like you said, one of the greatest.
You
One
know,
of the greatest in Paul Heyman.
okay, here's a problem with what y'all are saying. So when the day is done, you know, the funny thing is about society today is everybody wants a participation trophy. Everybody wants something handed out to them. They don't want to work for it. That's the problem. So for example, Bailey, they tried to, you know, she was just happy to be there. I'm hugging everybody. Oh my gosh, I'm a big fan. I'm just
I
happy.
hated that character, but go on.
They said, all right, you know, that shit wasn't working. So guess what happened? She had to come up with something. All right, returning heel, but she wasn't a generic heel. Bailey is pompous. She's arrogant. She's like just randomly yelling at Michael Cole throughout the match for no reason. She's like, "Shut up, Cole!" Out of nowhere, she's doing that. She took that upon herself. She didn't wait for the writers to come up with something for her. She did that herself. You know, Nakamura's my guy. He could be lazy as shit at times. That's not on the writers. That's on him. He's getting paid good money. He's getting paid good money to go out there and perform. You know, people. You sign a contract. You're not signing a contract to work at Burger King. You're signing a contract to work at the WWE. You have to be. You know what I'm saying? You have to be more than what you are. You have to be constantly changing. You have to be constantly evolving, and you shouldn't have to wait for the writers to come and tell you what you should do. You should stick yourself out there. You should be stick yourself out there and try and be more than what you are. If you once you grow complacent, it's basically over. Roman, look what he did. Look, you know what I'm saying? He's the tribal chief, head of the table. What was my line? I implore you. That's disgusting. Him muttering to himself. Him muttering to himself like he was R-Truth back in the day. While he's talking, when he's disrespecting me. Why is he doing that? He better. I'm gonna show him. I'm gonna prove to him that I'm the best. You know, he's just talking to himself like a crazy man. They didn't tell the WWE writers didn't tell him that shit. He did that himself. So when the day is done, it's time to stop. You know, blaming Vince and all these other people. It's time to hold themselves accountable. So you can have the best matches as much as you want to, but if people Ricochet is tremendous. When was the last time Ricochet had a good promo? I'll wait.
I don't think he ever had one. Right. And that's my problem with him.
So that's a problem. You signed up for this. You're not in AEW in the minor leagues in AEW and Impact Wrestling. By the way, quick side note. Charlotte, if Charlotte left the WWE and went to AEW, she would be the world champion. Not the women's champion or whatever it is. She would be the world champion because she would be the biggest star on the roster because she's cultivated that character.
See, Bottle Rocket can't even get his shows right. I called her a knockout, and that's an Impact thing, bro. I'm sorry, Bottle Rocket. I want to believe you. I know you have some basis to what you're saying, and I get it. I believe you. Trust me. I want WWE better. But like you just said, bro, Ricochet, he has great work rate. Okay, he has great work rate. I give him that. But a star, he is not. I'm sorry.
And I have to agree with Colin. Like it is on the superstar. You know, we had a show back in the day, and I'm bringing back to this. We had a show back in the day called Tough Enough. You know, and a lot of the characters that we have on the current product now was on that show. And one of the things that they talked about was cutting a great promo. If you don't cut a good promo, you're dead in the water. Your matches could be lackluster as shit. And Colin, forgive me, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan had 3 or 4 moves. However, Hulk Hogan could cut a good promo. You know what I mean? Jay Will.
Man, I think that the talent that we are seeing definitely needs. We need the cultivation of the talent to be on point with packaging them correctly when the shift happens. But I don't know, man. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to think about with the shift over because it's a bigger stage. It's a much bigger stage that certain characters will thrive based off of the in the ring ability. But when it comes to having mic work, if you're falling short, they're not going to be able to sell you as well to the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else thoughts?
I mean, they need to stop, relying on the writers. They need to be more than what they are. Aleister Black had a nice gimmick. It was cool. It was cool in NXT. The biggest thing about that is NXT is not back when it was as big as it was. It wasn't a mainstream thing. It was die-hard fans. It was ROH. People who watch New Japan and stuff like that. That's what it was more times than not. So, Shinsuke Nakamura debuted against Sami Zayn at TakeOver, and it was the biggest thing on the planet. Now, if he had showed up the next night at WrestleMania, a couple of people, an all right amount of people would have cheered, but it wouldn't have been this big thing because WrestleMania is more mainstream. So at that point, you have to kind of cultivate, and basically once you get up to the main roster, now you got to become more than what you are. What brought you to the dance is good enough, but now you have to be more than that. You have to be bigger than that and more bombastic than that. And a lot of these do struggle with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Tony Cash, what are your thoughts about these new wrestlers that's coming out? How do they grasp you guys' attention? What do you think?
I mean, some of these wrestlers, I honestly, I'm an attitude era kind of guy. So, some of these new wrestlers, that some of them are hitting their mark, some of them ain't. Some of them are trying a little bit too hard, and some of them just ain't trying enough. It's hard to see like a real good balance, character being brought to the product nowadays. And of course, like y'all was discussing earlier, with COVID and everything, it's gonna be harder for that talent to move up, especially if they can't have events like that to get these ticket sales and to get that extra money to pay all these people what they're supposed to be getting paid. So right now it's like you got to go with what you got, but at the same time, these new stars gotta step up regardless and just keep doing what they got to do because everything go start opening back up and everything go pick up. Probably by sometime middle of this year, maybe towards the end of the year, depending on how everybody handles and deals with this COVID situation. But you never know. As soon as these gates open back up and they say y'all can have full capacity, full contact, whatever it may be, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be getting phone calls that night to get called up to the main roster.
And that's going to be a glorious day because we are going to get so much good stuff when the world opens back up. Me, for one, I can't wait. And that has been our show for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank our special guest, Tony Cash from Tony Cash Gaming Pad Podcast, airing on Thursdays on YouTube. Did y'all fellas have a good time today, Tony Cash?
Yeah, had a very good time. Learned some new
it.
things and some old things.
Cool. We appreciate you guys being here with us. Guys, y'all have fun today?
Yes, sir.
Always.
Yeah.
All right, my fellas. Remember, this has been a 613 Faye production. You can catch us on YouTube. 2 shows for you guys a week. Sundays and Thursdays. Thursday is the throwback show. Sunday is the current show. I'd like to thank our producer, Mike Chili T, 613 Faye Productions. I am your host, Marshall, Mr. Soul Simmons. Catch me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lead us to the professionals. Don't try this at home. We're going to catch you later.